everybody. Welcome to the March 13th, 2017 Valley View School District Board of Education meeting. If I could ask everybody to please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Member Baduris, you want to?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Member Baduris. Member Zach, do you have the affirmation of the board up and ready?
Our mission is to empower all learners to be college and career ready and to develop, grow, and achieve as productive citizens.
Thank you. Dr. Mitchum, agenda?
Yeah, Mr. Felice, I'd like to ask that the board approve the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
Treasury Report 5.1 for the month of February 2017 is included, including in that report is financial reports, the balance sheets, summary of revenue and expenditures, also including the interim obligation payments for February totaling $4,361,065.83 for your approval and action.
So moved.
Motion, can I get a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Baduris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Zach?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Felice?
Yes.
Treasurer's Action Report 5.2 is the schedule of bills for the month of March. Included in there are expenses from the Education Fund, Operation and Maintenance Fund, Transportation, Capital Projects, Tort Fund, as well as Food Service. Total bills payable for your consideration this evening, $2,310,434.91.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Baduris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Zach?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Felice?
Yes.
Final 5.3 summary of investments, state funding update for February, as well as the school trust account activity for January are included for information at this time.
Any questions in regards to 5.3 to 5.5? Okay. Moving along. Consent agenda items. Dr. Mitchum?
Yes, Mr. Felice, I'd like to ask the board to approve consent agenda items 6.1 through 6.5. 6.1, approval of board meeting minutes, February 27th, 2017. 6.2, executive session meeting minutes, February 27th, 2017. 6.3, gifts for Irene King Elementary School, Lukanzik Middle School, and Romeoville High School. 4 for Romeoville High School. 6.4, student activity contract, request approval Beverly Scoff with Scholastic Book Fairs. And 6.5, Illinois High School Association IHSA membership renewal for 2017-2018.
Motion?
So moved. Second.
Second. Any questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Baduris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Zach?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Felice?
Yes. Moving on to student and staff recognition, Pillars of Valley View. We have Principal lovely Mr. Dan Laverty, and presenting will be Board Secretary Debbie Sikora.
Thank you. Good evening, school board, senior leadership, Dr. Mitchum. I'm honored to introduce Nicole Sangpil as the representative receiving the Valley View School District Pillar Award for Humphrey Middle School. Nicole is in her 5th year teaching 7th grade math and is a teacher leader both in our school and in the district. She's highly involved at the school level as one of our tech coaches. She's one of our Safe School ambassadors and has coached volleyball over the past 4 years. In the district, she has regularly presented to the math teachers during professional development days, and she has presented at the Illinois Council of Teachers of Mathematics. This summer, Nicole will be presenting at the annual Visible Learning Conference in San Francisco. When entering Nicole's classroom, you never know what you're going to see. Students are always working interactively with math using different types of technology, writing on desks, or singing or writing songs about math. It's an honor to work with Nicole every day. She truly is a pillar of Valley View, and I thank you for all that you do. Thank you, Nicole.
Moving along, we have a couple of finalists for the IHSA bowling from both Bolingbrook and Romeoville. Who's going to go first? Jason, you're up first, or no? Okay, we'll start with. All right, I guess you're going second. So, Michael, the floor is yours from Romeoville High School.
Thank you, President, senior leadership, and members of the community. It's my honor here to call up the head bowling coach for the Romeoville boys bowling team, Coach Ryan Stopinski, to talk about a very fine young man at Romeoville High School. So without further ado, Coach Stopinski.
Recognize Jacobs and his. Let's see if that does it. Also want to congratulate Alex Costa, as our district was well represented by both athletes at the state tournament. Jacob had an outstanding season as he was the individual champion at the Plainfield South Tournament, SPC All-Conference, an individual medalist at the IHSA Regionals Tournament, an individual qualifier at the sectional, and an individual qualifier for both days of the IHSA State Tournament. This is no easy task to be at these postseason tournaments as an individual, as Jacob had to achieve excellence on the lanes for 8 hours at a time without the support of his teammates. But Jacob is the type of athlete and individual that thrives under these conditions, as he's been bowling since age 4 and can always be found at a bowling alley. Not only was Jacob an individual bowler this season to Romeoville, but also an invaluable teammate. Without ever being asked, Jacob was continually giving pointers to the team that was primarily made up of freshmen, as well as being an excellent role model. I think what sums up the type of person that Jacob is best was the line of area coaches that were waiting for him to congratulate him after qualifying for state and completing day 2 of the state tournament. Congratulations again on an outstanding season, Jacob, and best of luck at the next level. We're very proud of you.
All right, moving along, we have the illustrious, not the cardboard figure, but the real figure in Dr. Jason Pascavage today.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to go ahead and just turn it over to my bowling coach, Mr. Wayne. But one thing Alex said was with me 8th grade at Jane Adams, and this year he did have something that was pretty neat that made announcements. He bowled a 300 in a tournament, and that's pretty rare for a high school kid, especially a junior.
Thank you to Dr. Mitchum, the school board, Dr. Pascavage for allowing us to come. It's my privilege to coach and be acquainted with Alex Acosta as a junior at our high school. He really does epitomize what it means to be a Bolingbrook Raider, and he excels both in the classroom, in the community, and in the bowling venue. Just a few highlights that Alex had this year. He's a 3-year varsity starter. He set a school record this year by averaging 217 per match. I wrote down some of his high games this year, and there were many. He rolled, as Dr. Pascavage mentioned, a perfect 300, 279 3 times. 268 twice, a 276, a 289, and a 267. As a goal, we set for the boys on varsity to roll as many 700 series as possible, which is a 3-game series. If they bowl 1 700, that's something that you can be very proud of, and Alex bowled 6 this year, including a 746 and a 747. Some of his individual accomplishments this year, he came in first place at the Plainfield North Invite, which included 40 schools. Many of them were top schools in the state. He was only the second bowler in Bolingbrook history to win all conference first place. He came in second place at regionals, second place at sectionals. After 4 games at sectionals, we were getting a little worried. He was sitting at about 34th, 35th place, and we were getting worried he wasn't going to qualify. And I saw some determination hit Alex's eyes. And so the last 2 games, he knew he needed to bowl well, and he bowled a 256 and a 289 to go from 34th up to 2nd. So we were very happy about that. At the state finals, he qualified for day 2, and he came in 34th place at the IHSA State Series. Again, my privilege to coach Alex. He's a wonderful individual, and thank you very much.
Moving along, we are pleased to have tonight, in regards to a presentation from the Romeoville Knights of Columbus, their gifts. I'd like to recognize and welcome Mr. Derek Peichel and Bob Martin from the Romeoville Knights of Columbus.
Superintendent Dr. Mitchum, thank you for having us here, and school board members and citizens of the village here. My name is Bob Martin. I'm past grad knight of the Bishop Roger L. Catholic Council 10944 here at St. Andrew the Apostle in Romeoville. Each September, you'll see us out on the street corners with the Tootsie Rolls, and all the money that we generate from that Tootsie Roll drive, we give to the, it's kind of like a special, but it's the Intellectual Disabilities Program. Last year, we had 6 schools participate, and we were able to donate $3,600. This year, we're able to have 9 schools participate, and we're able to donate $5,300. And we like to thank everybody who has participated. Victor Zach, a school board member here, is also one of our knights who's out there helping us on the school corner, or in the corners of the village here. So with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to our present grad knight, Derek Peichel, with some awards.
Hello, everybody. My name is Derek Peichel, and I am, like Moose said, I am the grad knight for this year. As you know, this event is Gary's Hoffman baby. He loves it. He is running this day and night. He calls, he brings, and he begs. But in the end, we have results. And this year, he was very proud, and he is very sorry that he could not make it here today. He just got the flu bug and just cannot make it. So on his behalf and all the knights, I would like to present a certificate of appreciation to Cheryl Mesger. Cheryl, okay. Thank you. You don't look like Cheryl, but that's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for your help. You're welcome. The next one is Chrissy Kinder. Kinder? Close enough. Oh, she looked like Chrissy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Russell Juliet. Oh, there's a long walk. And we have checks to BJ Ward. Sure. Thank you. John Lukancic. Okay. Another one is Beverly Scoff. Thank you very much. Valley View Early Childhood. Okay. Vito Martinez. Irene King. Darcy Hill. And Hermanson School. Oh, there's one more. Okay, and the last one is Romeoville High School. You're getting two? Very nice. Thank you very much. The rest of them we're just gonna send out in the mail, or I'm sure all three of them.
Thank you. Board, we know and understand how important this is to Gary, and we thank the Knights of Columbus as well as all of the schools that participated. It's wonderful to see more this year than last year, so thank you very much to the two of you and to everybody with the Knights. We really appreciate the help and support. Moving along, liaison reports. Board members on my left.
On March 3rd, Debbie and I attended the DuPage ROE Institute Day where Carrie Johnstone presented on the LGBTQ on that, and she did an outstanding job, and it was an honor for her to be asked to do it. And then the following week, on March 7th, Liz Campbell and myself were the board members there, I guess, yeah. Oh, Mr. O'Driscoll was there. At the Three Rivers Division dinner meeting for IASB, Carrie was invited to speak again on Senate Bill 100, and Erica helped her, the two of them presented and did an outstanding job. I was very proud to be associated with them that night. They did a nice job.
All right.
On March 1st, I had the opportunity to attend with Brooks Middle School, the We Day. And We Day is a program that challenges young people to identify issues that spark their passion and create the change they want to see. By taking action on one local and one global issue, students develop the leadership skills to succeed academically, in the workplace, and as active citizens. In short, ready to be not only the leaders of tomorrow, but also the leaders of the day. And this was a great opportunity with so many students at Allstate Arena. And the good thing about this is you can't buy a ticket to We Day, and this is how the students earn it. And I was so proud of our students at Brooks, because there were some young ladies that I had to turn around and challenge whether I could hear or not, and they weren't from our school. They was from another school, even though their chaperones was there with them. So I was just proud of that, to be with Brooks Middle School, and not just We Day and We School curriculum that the principal and the teachers and the chaperones did at Brooks, but I would still like to bring back to this board about our volunteer and our community service as a requirement for graduations. I brought it back about a year or so ago now, and I'm asking this board to really consider looking at that about service and knowing that when we serve others, we will really do something for others, but also for ourselves. And it's not me, it's we. And that's how this We Day started back with some 12-year-olds who wanted to make a difference and letting the students know that they can make a difference. But sometimes it takes us, that's supposed to be grown-ups, to a little push that a little. And so I'm asking this board again to consider community service as a part of graduation requirements.
Thank you, guys. Moving forward, audience participation. Anybody from the audience that would like to present? We see a young lady. Make sure you state your name, your full name, last name too, to the board, and love to hear from you.
Activated.
Hi, my name is Maya Gugis. I am a 7th grader at AVM Middle School. Go Vikings! I live at 94 Kenilworth Court and 1617 Astor Drive, both in Romeoville. I live around. I was in the car with my dad one day, and I said, "Dad, you should run for school board again, because I want to tell the school board something." He told me he didn't need to be on the school board for me to talk to the school board. I could just go to a meeting. So here I am. For the longest time in math, I felt like I was purely following instructions rather than truly understanding what it was we were doing and how I should use the information I was receiving. Because knowing how to use the Pythagorean theorem wasn't really going to help me put a quadratic equation into factored form, right? I know this is going to sound cliche, but Common Core was just different. When I learned how to do something, I was not just learning that the y-intercept was the point that hit the y-axis. I was learning that the y-intercept in a story problem typically meant this is where the equation's x variable began. I also learned how to find the y-intercept in equations and graphs. But more importantly, I was learning how to take the things I was learning to start to figure out problems on my own. My dad said that when he was a kid, a long, long time ago, he was given a problem and a way to solve it. They did problem and problem like that, but when it came to a problem that was different, he would have to memorize a new way, and sometimes it can be hard to make that connection. For me, it's different, and I'm very grateful to my teachers and the school board for teaching me like this, but some students and teachers are not. Common Core is different, and people typically don't like change. So when this new way of teaching came along, they weren't too happy about it. Many adults and some teachers were upset. Some teachers decided to voice their opinions to the students, and long story short, now the students think like that too. And what they don't understand is that Common Core is helping them. I don't really blame them. As a kid who was there when the switch to Common Core came around, it was hard, but not because it was wrong or that it was unnecessary. It was just that it was change. And that can be hard, not just for us kids, but also the teachers who are transitioning. Sometimes you might see some math problem that was made more complicated by Common Core, but really, it's just teaching us to understand numbers better by using a different method. I do a lot of acting. Many times we do exercises that seem totally unrelated to our play, like object transformation. In this exercise, I take something like a tissue box, and pretend that it's something completely different, like a guitar. This exercise may look silly and unnecessary to some, but it teaches us how to get comfortable with props and how to convey an idea of what something is to an audience. I could just grab a guitar and pretend to play it, but then I would be practiced at only working with the guitar. Doing object transformation develops a skill that I can use in many different plays, not just the one I'm in right now. This is exactly how Common Core works, by teaching me different ways to solve problems and better understanding of numbers and what I can do with them. So I just want to thank you and the administration for giving us Common Core, even when people got mad at you for doing it. I really get math now, thanks to Common Core. I also want to thank my math teacher, Ms. Sorrentino, for guiding me and putting the fun into math. I also want to wish Mr. Mitchum a happy belated birthday. That's all. Thank you for the time.
I see she takes after her mother quite well, Rick. For those that don't know or understand why we do this, it's for students like this and for so many other students in our district that are able to come and speak so eloquently. That's a credit to themselves, their family is at home, as well as the teachers in the administration in the schools. So congratulations, Maya, and thank you for coming up. I appreciate that. Any other audience participation? Hearing none, I wouldn't want to follow that either. So, action reports. Dr. Mitchum?
Yes, Mr. Felice, I'd ask that the board approve a student due process case A as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Zach?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Felice?
Yes. Okay. Action reports. Ms. Kinder?
No report this evening.
Thank you. Action reports. Mr. Grisafi?
Nothing from me.
Wow. You sure? I'm sure. That's pretty good. All right. Action reports. Ms. Hawks?
Thank you, President Interim. Tonight, Consolidated Action Report 13.1, we're seeking your approval on 27 items for certified personnel, 19 items for classified personnel, 1 for classified administrative personnel, and 2 items of certified administrative personnel.
So moved.
Motion. Can I get a second?
Seconded.
Oh, sorry. Any questions? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Campbell?
Yes.
Member Zach?
Yes.
Member Peril?
Yes.
Secretary Sikora?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Felice?
Yes. Moving along to information reports. Is it Dr. Mitchum, or are we going with?
I'll introduce this. Yes, Information Report 14.1, on behalf of Assistant Superintendent Grazafi and myself, I'd like to introduce our information report this evening on Limitless Learning 1-to-1++ initiative. It's been a truly collaborative effort between educational services and administrative services, and tonight you'll hear from some of the team members from technology as well as from curriculum, and we will share with you information regarding our one-to-one initiative, its current status, where we've come from the original proposal, as well as where we plan to move forward going forward. Really staying true to ensuring that our students are college and career ready. We continue to be progressive in push and support of ensuring that our learners are ready and have the tools and the access that they need to achieve this. So I'd like to introduce Astrid Welch, the Executive Director of Technology.
Thank you very much indeed, Assistant Superintendent Kinder. Good evening, Dr. Mitchum, board members, senior administration, and members of the Valley View community. I'm Astrid Welch, Executive Director of Technology, and it is my honor this evening, together with my colleagues from Educational Services, Karen Flores and Adam Herder, both Executive Directors in the Curriculum Well, to deliver to you this evening our update of last year's one-to-one initiative and a proposal that we would like to move forward with for next year. So as you are familiar with one-to-one here at Valley View, and as we discussed last year, the presentation is also on board docs as well. Gentlemen, the presentation isn't showing on the screens, if you wouldn't mind providing it. Thank you. Board docs available on your devices. The presentations on there. Well, the introduction components of the presentation are just to give you a recap of what we came to you last March regarding the one-to-one initiative. And as you know, here at Valley View, we've done things a little differently in that it isn't just a device in the hands of our students on a one-to-one basis. It's also ensuring that our educators have the support that they need with various different staff members, whether it's instructional specialists, coaches, whether it's building technology support personnel, whether it's instructional technology support or whether it's operational technology support. And then we also have additional devices in our buildings that are curricula specific. For example, our MIDI labs at the high school and our CT labs at the middle school. And those devices run specific software to ensure that the curriculum is delivered successfully. That's kind of our definition of one-to-one. And as you recall, we've been able to move forward with a one-to-one initiative due to a number of items that coalesce together. And the biggest driving force of that is the digital curriculum and the resources that are available to our educators in a digital format. So the impetus for this has really been the curriculum. We've also been able to utilize E-rate funds in order to do a massive wall-to-wall, one-to-one availability of the wireless access points and ensure that internet connectivity is available there for our educators to take advantage of the digital resources. And we've also been able to take advantage of utilizing a Chromebook, which is a very affordable device that provides free resources in the form of the Google Apps for Education, now known as G Suite, that has a battery life that exceeds the length of the school day and has immediate log-on for students and staff alike. So all those items coalesced in order for us to move forward. So where have we been this year? Well, this year our curricular teams have been utilizing a number of math and English language arts online resources, and some of those include Achieve 3000, which I know you'll hear a little bit about later on, Mathyear X, and those have been piloted and expanded and utilized within our curriculum from elementary all the way through high school highly successfully. We have provided one-to-one devices to our 7th and 8th grade students, and we were also able to increase both the mobility and the number of devices at our elementary and high school in the first year, making it a much more mobile environment. And then the key cornerstone for that is providing support for our educators in the form of instructional specialists. So these are curricular content specialists in English language arts, math, social sciences, and science, who work with our educators this year primarily at the middle and at the high school level in order to support their integration of the online curriculum with the technology to ensure that the educators have the support that they need when they need it. And now I'm going to pass you over to Karen Flores, who will update you on the successes that we've seen in the classroom. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Astrid. Good evening, everyone. I'm just going to come and share a couple of the successes. What you see that is starred, this was components of the success criteria that we established for ourselves when we first brought this to the board last year. And then we obviously highlighted some of the key language. I'm going to share with you some of the student outcome impacts on the next slide, but what I'd like to share with you right now is a video that was captured through our technology department that really does a great job of hearing what some of our kids and what some of our teachers, as well as being able to see some of the ways that we've been able to utilize the one-to-one rollout in our middle schools this year. Will you stop it for just a moment, because the sound really helps us out when we're watching it. If we could try that one more time. Hi, I'm Mike DeLeon. I'm the instructional. No, this isn't going to work. We're gonna one more time. One of the things, though, that while they're putting that, trying to help us with our sound, Nicole Sangpeel, who you are going to see in the video, she was also the pillar, one of our pillars this evening, and I know that Mr. Laverty said that she is going to be presenting at the Visible Learning Conference in San Francisco this year, which is a national conference. It's what drives our instructional practices here, is the research of John Hattie, but she's actually presenting on creating visible learners using technology in the middle school classroom. So she's taking this experience and she is taking it on the road so that we can share it with the rest of the nation. You know, third time's a charm, so we're just going to keep on moving at this point. And for your viewing pleasure, we will make sure that this is accessible. I'm so sorry that you weren't able to see it because it does such a fantastic job. And you would think, like Murphy's Law, we know this. We did test it before the board meeting began tonight, and it worked. But now, just because we're up here at the podium, it's not. So I'm so sorry, but in the interest of time and moving along, I'm going to keep going. So on top of making sure that our kids and our staff are excited, if you could just go to the next slide for me real quick, we also want to make sure that the devices that we're putting into the hands of our teachers and our kids are having an impact on the outcomes and moving the needle for growth and achievement. We're just going to accept defeat, and we're going to go to the next slide real quick. Click. There we go. So this also really matters too, and this is our outcome data. This is just some of our outcome data, 2 highlights from ELA and math. One thing that I want to make very clear, you don't get these outcomes by just simply putting a device in the hands of a child or in the hands of a teacher. It takes a development and a planning and prep component, and so we've been really strongly encouraging and developing teachers on how to use these to enhance what we're doing in the classroom. And so you can see the table up to the left, that's our math pre to post. We've been able to see gains across the board for all of our grade levels in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. For ELA, one of the components for data that I shared with you in this table is a Lexile gain. And just a very, very quick background, a Lexile measure is one piece of what makes a text complex. You'll hear one of the most renowned literacy experts, Doug Fisher, say that literacy is an antidote for poverty, and I truly believe that. And so when we look at what makes a text complex, a Lexile, the vocabulary, how long the sentences are, how many periods or semicolons or dashes, how much does that student have to kind of stay with that school of thought? That's what kind of makes up a Lexile. You can see that through the use of Achieve 3000, we've been able to make some pretty significant Lexile gains. The average for a year is 90 to 100, and you can see that at our 7th and 8th grade levels, we're already meeting that halfway mark, and this is only from August until January. Where we have some opportunity is in our 6th grade, and that I am certain that number is going to be just as high as those 7th and 8th grade students when we have a device to put into their hands as well, because part of what makes the resource move the needle for growth and achievement is the usage that we're able to do in the classroom, and then what's really exciting is once the kids get to take these home, they'll be able to engage in that platform outside of the school day as well. So while you didn't get to see some of the feedback from our teachers and from our kids just kind of celebrating, and I want to say that they'll acknowledge that it was a struggle at first, but they stayed the course. They said, I buy what you're selling, I just need to figure out what this looks like a little bit, and we clearly have been able to see in a very short amount of time an impact on the growth and achievement of our kids as well. So it's very, very good stuff. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you, Karen. Another piece of data that we have that shows some of the successes that we've been experiencing with the one-to-one initiative is the Bright Bites Technology Survey. This is the survey that we presented to you last year. It's a normed survey, over 8 million students throughout the nation, about 14% take this survey, and it gives us data on how technology is being used and integrated into the curriculum, the levels of access and skills our educators and our students have revolving around technology and the environment in which that technology is used. And we see some solid gains in 3 of the 4 spheres at 6th grade, and when we take a look at the data at 7th and 8th grade, we can really see that there's been some extremely strong growth level there in the classroom with the access and the environment that they're using. So hand you over to Adam Herder now, Executive Director for Elementary Education.
Thank you, Astrid. We just wanted to mention a connection in terms of our elementary classrooms. This year, in the first year of implementation, we were able to focus on increasing access to devices in our learning environment, making things more flexible for teachers, and so students had more opportunities. And as of this year now, on average, a K-5 student has access to generally a Chromebook for approximately 70% of the instructional time during the day, which is a significant amount of the time, clearly. The other goal we wanted to begin with this year in elementary was creating that rigorous curriculum that we could differentiate and provide unique learning for each student at their level. And we were able to do that with several online resources, which we've spoken about at these board meetings prior in terms of things students can use over the summer, we also wanted to make the connection here between these programs that the logos are on the screen. The usage of all of these programs has increased significantly with access to more devices. And of course, we only choose programs that have tremendous impact on student learning and student growth. And I'd just like to point out Achieve 3000 specifically, which we'll be discussing further this evening, of course, as one of the programs that we've seen a dramatic increase in with access to devices in elementary school that has paid off significantly for our learners.
Thank you, Adam. So where are we proposing to go for year 2 of the 3-year plan? We'd like to increase the speed and the scope of the rollout. So we had originally planned for year 2 to add 3 grade levels, 6th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade, but we recognize that the curriculum specifically at the high school level is often classes of students who range from juniors all the way up to seniors, and providing devices to half the student body in that second year would probably not be the best delivery. We've also had a very successful rollout in that the operational concerns with the 7th and 8th grade students was not a non-issue, and so we would like to expand to all 4 grade levels at the high school level and all the way through post-12, fill in the gap there at 6th grade level, and then expand the one-to-one to 4th and 5th grade to support the curriculum needs at that level. So we would be proposing to move from 2 grade levels to 10 grade levels in total in year 2. So we talked a little bit about the ratios and the other plus component of that, in that we will have more than one computing device at the middle and high school level to support those very specific curricular needs, the MIDI labs at the high school, CTE labs, and so on and so forth. So we will have good ratios of devices. But as we talked, that isn't the only component, in that we really want to get into the classroom and ensure that the educators have the support that they need to continue the good work that they're doing and provide that level of support. So we saw some growth in the classroom level, a little bit there in the Bright Bites survey, but the bigger areas were in access and environment, and we want to see those levels of growth that we saw at 7th and 8th grade. We feel that the baseline level of data that we collected this year from the high school also sets us up for that. So, as we mentioned earlier, we want to provide that 3-stool level of support of staffing for our educators. We have our instructional technology team, which supports educators with learning how to use the technology and works very collaboratively with our building technology support staff, who are our tech coaches, our Google gurus, and our webmasters, who are our educators who work with their peers to provide training, to provide support when they need it. We have obviously the operational support of ensuring that the devices and the network are successfully working and the connectivity and the data is there where it's needed. And then finally, that very, very key component of providing our instructional specialists and our teaching and learning coaches working with educators when they need it and how they need it. Couldn't do it without all those 3 wonderful groups of individuals to ensure that that happens. And so we want to continue to focus on that coaching model, which is an educator receives that support when they need it, the professional development that's embedded into their instruction, their time for reflection on their instructional practice, and the ability to support them as they delve deeper into the 4 C's of 21st century learning. So we hope that this video will work for you. It's kind of a little glimpse of how technology is being used at Digital Learning Day back in February, and then we can take any questions that you may have for us. Thank you. Not going to get any sound with this either.
We will certainly be happy to showcase these videos when we bring this information report back for action at the next board meeting, because we certainly want to make sure that these voices are heard. So we will be happy to give it another try next time.
Are there any questions that we could answer for you this evening?
I have a couple questions.
Certainly.
You talked about extending this to all the 4 high schools and 6th grade and 5th grade, but then you said 10 grade levels. So I assume we're doing all of elementary and all of high school and 6th grade?
Thank you for the question, Secretary Sikora. I'm sorry if I wasn't clear about that. It would be 10 grade levels in total, so 2 at elementary, so 4th and 5th, 3 middle schools, 4 high schools, and then I'm counting post-high school, the STEP program as well.
Okay, so you're counting what we already do right now, the 6th and 7th, or
Yes,
7th and 8th grade.
so
Okay.
it's cumulative 10 in total, going from 2 to 10, adding 8 grade levels.
Thank you. Sorry, it was my mistake, not yours.
And just a point of distinction, our younger grade levels in elementary we do maintain a high level of access with the ratio. It's not 1-to-1, but it's approximately 0.7-to-1, meaning that the teachers do have access to integrate that into their instruction. It's just not at the higher level that we're planning for our 4th and 5th grade and up.
Second question is, we had a meeting, I was at a meeting, I don't remember whether it was handbook, what it was, but we met with some of the technology people and discussed some of the issues that 7th and 8th graders having now. Were those discussed and talked about so that we could resolve some of the minor issues so that, before going into all the other grades?
We are certainly meeting, and we've already begun those meetings with our middle and high school administrative teams at the building to iron out any issues that they may have before we roll that out. That's a key component for us to ensure that everybody feels that they have the support that they need in order to do that.
One of the main issues was, are the children going to take the devices home this year?
The plan is for that to occur. We are working with building administration on what those details would be to ensure that the students have the access that they need, the operational aspects of picking up and dropping off and so on and so forth are ready to go, and ensuring that we provide enough support for families and get communication out. So you'll be hearing more from us regarding that.
Okay, so if a child stuffs it in their locker and goes on home and comes back and that is not recharged, are we supplying some kind of a charging system within the classrooms so those?
Either a charging system or the ability for the student to drop it off and pick up a charged device and leave the other one in a locker to be charged, and then they can retrieve it midday, end of day. So the key goal being the instruction isn't impacted by a non-working device, whether that's an uncharged device or a damaged device.
Thank you.
And the logistical aspects are unique depending on the grade level or the size of the building, for example. And so the team has worked very closely with the building leaders and teacher leaders to come up with a plan that works for those particular levels. Because what we would expect at a high school of 3,500 students would be very, somewhat different than what we would expect, at a 4th or 5th grade in an elementary building.
The charge of the amount of money that we've allocated we would provide the high schools, for example, with an building allocation that they could utilize to find charging resources that they need, because that's going to look different, especially in the 2 big high school buildings.
Questions for Astrid? Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Much appreciated, and thanks to my colleagues.
Thanks to the team and everybody involved at the building level as well. Appreciate the efforts. All right, 14.2, the retrofit of the main electric gear at RHS.
Correct. We are, just wanted to bring to your attention the need to retrofit the main electrical gear at RHS due to its condition and age. It is original to the building, dating it to approximately 54 years old. The project is considering a retrofit because of the housing or main panel enclosures, is considering reusing the housing and main panel enclosures. That will save on cost and streamline the replacement of the high voltage equipment. We will require a 1-day power shutdown during spring break for equipment measurement, and another 1-day shutdown during summer break for installation. This is all being coordinated, as you might imagine, with school administration to make sure all affected departments have been notified or in full knowledge of when that will happen. The budget for this is estimated at $148,000. It is included in our current 2017 FY budget, and we will be utilizing a bid to bring back those results at the next board meeting.
Any questions? Hearing none, seeing none. All right. Achieve 3000 literacy curricular resource.
Yes, information report 14.3. We're providing information on Achieve 3000, which is a curricular resource for grades 4 and 5. We are currently using this resource at our middle school, so it may ring a bell that we've been to the board before sharing information about this. It was also just mentioned in the one-to-one report as one of the curricular resources that we're using that the technology access has enabled us to really use at a high level in a meaningful way in the classroom. So tonight we're going to hear specifically about the plan for grades 4 and 5. An Executive Director of Educational Services for Pre-K 5, Adam Herder, and Director of Literacy, Amy Paris, will share some information with you this evening.
Thank you. Good evening. In introduction, before Amy Paris, our Director of Literacy and Social Studies for Pre-K through 5, begins the rest of the presentation, we wanted to share the Achieve 3000 resource is obviously one the board has heard about prior, that has been utilized heavily and with dramatic success at the middle school level. And like everything else in elementary school, our job is to prepare kids to be successful once they leave elementary school. And given the success at the middle school level and the similar curricular needs that we have at the elementary school level, and the prior presentation regarding technology, the feedback from our staff was that if they had one-to-one access to devices as 4th and 5th grade teachers, different models, because it's an elementary school obviously than a middle or high school, that they would be able to utilize the Achieve 3000 resource in 4th and 5th grade with the same impact. And so what Amy can present tonight, I believe, is a case for the fact that when this program is used by 4th and 5th grade students, the learning gains are dramatic in literacy. And we know that empirically from evidence we've gained by piloting the resource this year. And so Amy can take you through the specifics, but I wanted to thank our 6-12 grade level counterparts for the ability to learn from their rollout of the program and also provide a great opportunity for the district to be vertically aligned from one level to another, crossing from elementary into middle school and beyond.
Thank you. Since you have, this is not working. Since you have previously heard about Achieve 3000, we're going to focus mainly on what the 4th and 5th grade, what we saw with them. But just as an overview to review again, Achieve 3000 supports both our teachers and our learners. One of the things it does that's unique is it's an online program that provides an individual reading level article with a stretch level article. So students have the opportunity for reading at their own level, but also with those rigorous, rich texts that we need to expose them to more. Gives the students immediate feedback, which allows them to be self-monitoring and really become visible learners and owners of their own learning. It provides scaffolding in vocabulary expansion and language acquisition, and this is a piece of Achieve 3000 called Achieve Boost and Access. These pieces are different from what is being used at the middle and high school. These will be features for our elementary schools that will bring out the vocabulary and oral language developmental steps that are needed more at our lower levels. Gives students access to those grade level texts, and as we've seen in the past, if our scores aren't meeting on PARCC, it's because we haven't been giving the kids the experience on a daily basis with rigorous texts. Karen Flores pointed that out earlier. This is something that we really feel is going to be a great support for our kids to see on a daily basis. It also encourages student choice because the students have an opportunity to decide sometimes which kinds of articles they want to read. They can read anything outside of school as well on the program or all summer long. As far as the support for teachers, teachers have been asking for those rigorous texts. And so it provides those texts for them. It provides real-time data so that they can make those instructional decisions that will be possible to raise our student achievement. It will help them guide teachers into providing really quality feedback for students in their reading development. And most importantly, like our beliefs, this is a system that helps teachers meet the needs of all students, struggling and advanced in the classroom. There is something for everyone in the program. Like I said, teachers have been asking repeatedly for some type of resource that's going to help them bring those rich, complex texts. There are supports like step-by-step lesson plans and graphic organizers and videos that assist teachers even when they're just beginning the program to get a feel for it. And then every single lesson comes with a standards-based curriculum key, which draws attention to the unwrapped standards and links the proper strategies for the teachers to work with the students on, which is fully in alignment with what we're trying to do in all of our curricular areas. The product that we're looking for elementary is called KidBiz Pro, and what we're expecting out of KidBiz Pro are pretty much the same results that we've seen in 6th through 8th grade, and we're looking at an increased student achievement and growth in reading. As Adam pointed out, we are looking at this product to help us be an expand our vertical articulation and alignment in grades 4 through 8. We really don't have many resources in which we are consistent between the elementary and the middle school, so this is a nice, coherent transition also for our 5th grade students to our 6th grade. We're looking as one of our outcomes to be an increase on our PARCC scores, especially on informational text. In the past, we've done a lot with fiction in elementary and not quite as much with informational text, and PARCC has both. Achieve 3000 provides those informational texts that we've been short on. And in elementary, one of the unique features of our English language arts block is that social studies is embedded within that block. So this is a tool that brings us social studies and science concepts right within our literacy period. So not only are they learning about social studies topics, but they're learning strategically how to read and learn about them. We began a pilot last year. It began with the challenge teachers, and partway through the year we had some volunteer teachers who wanted to try it out. Unfortunately, the lack of access to technology was very hindering. With the addition of the new devices this year, it's been a completely different story. We're seeing a much stronger connection to growth. The teachers are giving us positive feedback. They've been able to get the kids into the program more often and more consistently. And you'll see 2 of our schools are extremely consistent with it, and they, of course, have had the most gains. And then this year we've had more in-depth classroom applicable PD. And the teachers have really enjoyed and feel that they've benefited from this, seeing our presenters from Achieve and curriculum members coming in and doing actual demos in the classrooms with the kids, using the Achieve product, and showing teachers how it's embedded into their literacy block and not just a sit down and do your Achieve activity. It's a real teaching tool, and that's what they're seeing this year. We've had a renewed commitment from those teams that we're piloting, and the results are there for that. We'll be continuing our job embedded professional development with some in-service development, of course, too. With an increase, a greater increase to technology, we will be able to have all of our 4th and 5th grade students access the program. And then most of our professional development will continue to be on how to incorporate this as a research-based tool in our literacy framework. According to Common Core, our students in 4th and 5th grade should be reading at a minimum of 640 lexile. And where we would like them to be is in that stretch band, the 740 to 1010. chart shows you the left-hand column of our starting average Lexiles for our buildings, and you can see those are not where we want them to be. As of March 1st, the middle column shows where they are now. So our right-hand column shows our gain. And in terms of college and career readiness, the official tracking was that our first month, we were at 13.7% of our students on track for college and career readiness. And it's actually as of February, because the March one isn't in there yet, but we're up to 23.5% on track for college and career readiness with our pilot students. There's about 980 students who are actively engaged in this pilot throughout 7 buildings. 88.9% of our students are scoring 75% or higher on their first try-on activities, and this is the piece that is built into the Achieve algorithms that raises or lowers their Lexile numbers, so we want that to be very high. And then in terms of assessments, we began the first assessment, the pre-assessment in the fall, with 11.8% ready, college and career ready, and then we're up to that 23.5%. Slightly different number from the last one because this is from assessment to assessment, and the last one was month average to month average. Currently, as of today, we have an average gain for the pilots of 44 Lexile points. You heard Karen say we're looking at 100 points per year. For a first year pilot, this is pretty good. We're really expecting more than that for the rest of this year, so we hopefully will be very close to that 100-point level. If you look at our pretest, we're at 545, and our mid-year was 593, and those are the averages. We had 33,000 student logins so far, and 1,400 teacher logins. So we are using the program, and this speaks loads about how much more access the students have to technology right now this year than they did last year. We were nowhere near this with our pilot teachers last year because they just couldn't get the devices. I said earlier, consistency usually equals more growth, and the 2 schools who have been most consistent in their use have been Pioneer and Hermanson, and these are just some examples from for their classrooms. So a 5th grade class at Pioneer, their class average has gone up by 106 points. There's one at Hermanson that's gone up by 111 points. And then throughout the district, we have tons of stories of individual student growth. We just picked out a few here. Some students at McGee and Hill, 4th and 5th graders, who've gained 95 Lexile points, 125 Lexile points, 280 Lexile points. And one of our particular favorites is a little 5th grade girl at Woodview. And she was in her teacher used the pilot last year, but they printed off everything because they couldn't get access to the computers. But he set them up for all summer long for them if they had access at home, and she did it all summer long. And she raised her Lexile over the summer 130 points, and so far this year, she's raised it an additional 145 points. So that's just a little glimpse into our successes so far. We're really hoping that the addition of the second year of 1-to-1 and the addition of Achieve 3000 for our 4th and 5th grades across the district is going to be able to bring this product and these types of results to all of our schools, not just our lucky pilot schools. Have any questions?
Questions for Amy or Adam?
I do, I do have one question. Somewhere I read something about this will have a key benefit for Achieve 3000 would be in classrooms that have multiple grade levels in the same classroom. How many classrooms do we, are you talking like a split, like a 4-5 split? How many do
So
we have in
within our elementaries, we have a number of split classrooms. There would be, we have some bilingual classrooms that are like a 4th and a 5th grade split, or a 3rd and a 4th. But most of those are our special classrooms, our CARES and our CrossCat. And at Woodview, the CARES program is they're in the pilot and they're using it. And so those classrooms, they may have students in 2nd grade and they may have another student who's a 5th grade student, but they're within one classroom. This product allows the teacher to select one article that meets the needs of all the kids, so that we don't have to have something separate for each one of those. The same with our bilingual splits.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none. Thank you very much, guys, for your presentation. Moving along the agenda, legal services.
No formal report.
Association reports, AFT. Valley View Council. Valley View office personnel. I guess there's no report. All right, any old business? Any new business? Any questions from the public regarding any actions taken by the board tonight? Hearing none, seeing none. Any acknowledgements and announcements by the board? From my left?
I'd like to thank all the people that came out on Friday night for the Valley View Enrichment Dinner, and appreciate all the time and effort that the Valley View Enrichment Foundation puts into that, and then the people that come out and hopefully enjoy themselves. But thank you to all the administrators and the teachers that came out and the public. Thank you.
I just wanted to remind everyone that Bolingbrook High School has got one more weekend of their spring musical, Sister Act, and it's next weekend, Friday and Saturday night at 7 o'clock. Romeoville has their spring musical the following weekend on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. Excuse me, and they're doing Footloose, so that'll be fun as well. And then I also want to give a shout out to Print Shop for their continuous excellent customer service. Our print shop does not get the acknowledgments that they deserve. They are wonderful. So I wanted to give them a shout out.
Beautiful. All right. Couple quick things. One, I'd like to thank everybody that supported the 3-on-3 basketball tournament for Hardhaven Outreach last Sunday, and also wish the very best to Bolingbrook High School playing in the Super Sectionals tomorrow night against Naperville North at the DeKalb at the Big Boys Gymnasium. Rims are still 10 feet tall, aren't they, Dr. Mitchum? Still 15 feet to the free throw line? So that's an old Hoosiers kind of line. But anyway, wish the best to them. And announcements by the administration.
I'd just like to piggyback and encourage as many people as possible to come to the game out at DeKalb. We are one game away from going downstate in the Final Four, and so this is a really big deal. So congratulations to the men's basketball team, Dr. Paskevich and all of his crew. So if you can make your way out to DeKalb tomorrow to witness another victory, that would be greatly appreciated.
I guess Mr. Randa must have something to say, usually behind the scenes.
Brooks Middle School won their sectional volleyball game tonight and is now headed to the state quarterfinals on Saturday, the 8th grade volleyball team.
Congratulations to the Bulldogs. Any other announcements by the administration? Any announcements by the public? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We stand adjourned. Thank you. Have a safe night. Snow is coming.